Hi everyone, this is Mark Bramble with the Kobukan USA Shibu. Just wanted to give a quick video on a post UK Taikai update, sort of debrief and kind of let everyone know what's going to be going on. First of all, I'm definitely going to make sure we try to give a lot more content, a lot more information out to everyone that is a part of the channel. So if you're not, please be sure to subscribe to definitely stay in touch with what's going on. So let's kind of dig right in. So talking about the UK Taikai. So I've been to many events over the years, and just honestly, it was probably one of my favorite trips, my training trips that I've done with Joy, my wife, and I. And UK Chester is just steeped in history. It was just an amazing thing to be amongst all that amount of history, and just showing up the very first day. It was very obviously a very long flight over, a couple flights to get over there, and just kind of settling into the hotel and kind of going in, relaxing at a local pub for a pint. And of course, a group of us and Sensei shows up with Ian Kyoshi and just kind of surprises us, and just kind of chatting and seeing how everything's going, seeing how everyone's doing, and prepared for the next day for training. So that was nice just to catch up with everyone. And very first day, we did the Kobukan Hambojitsu. Now, the way that it's structured for us is, we do everything. It's very important Densho Dori, so it's like right from the Densho, how it was written to be done, and just very staying very true to that, but also understanding, how can you apply things as well. So the way it's structured is, part of that curriculum within the Kobokan is has uragata associated with it, and the uragata is very sort of special technique. So that's something that we only cover in person. That Sensei teaches sort of person to person, with the group, but it's you know face to face, I guess you would say, and just really cool. The people that had not tested through the Hambojitsu Shoden Menkyo, they worked on that. People that already tested through that worked on the Oragata, and absolutely phenomenal techniques. I just, really kind of mind blowing the amount of knowledge that kind of came from that. So that was first day. Hambojitsu. Next day was the Kotsuru Kopojitsu. And again, phenomenal technique. It's always nice to kind of balance out the weapons training with the unarmed training as well. And also kind of, at times you try to get some breaks from the constant falling, repetition of falling and standing back up. So that's really nice to help out with. And, one of the other things I thought was very unique and I really appreciated was, sometimes when people go to events, everyone kind of trains with like the same people that they've always trained with. That's who they're comfortable with. And, while we obviously train with those people, was a lot of cross training as well. People going and training with a bunch of different people in the room. And I think that's really important, not just from like a community aspect of, you learn so much from somebody or about somebody by just training with them. Just kind of sharing, sharing the sweat. That's the camaraderie side of it. I think part of it, but also I think that's great for training. You have so many different body types, experience levels, things like that, that you can really, get a lot of additional experience just by kind of spreading out through the room and working with everyone you can. So that was really something that stuck out to me, which I really enjoyed and definitely looking forward to keeping going. And the final day of the official Taikai was the Bikinjitsu. A lot of kuden to that, a lot of very interesting strategy things going on. Again, just kind of mind blowing. And yeah, I mean, it was excellent. Like I said, it was probably one of my top trips, for training that I've done so far. Um, Again, surrounded by just a beautiful area, wonderful training, just really open and kind, people that you can have some camaraderie with and kind of not, you know, not worry about things, just kind of enjoy the training of it. So that was really, really cool. Afterwards, since they did do a handful of private lessons with people that had stuck around and had scheduled them. So that was nice to kind of get some of the additional, additional training for that as well. And then, of course, a lot of sightseeing, getting the opportunity to travel, a small group to travel with Sensei by train up to Edinburgh, Scotland. Um, it was just, it was such an honor, right? And to kind of see sort of where, a little bit more about his background and things like that, places he grew up and kind of haunted, so to speak. Just really, really so cool. Edinburgh Castle's absolutely amazing. And yeah, it was just phenomenal. And I wanted to kind of like shift from that a little bit into how that translates, things that are happening based off of that, as well as upcoming. So um, anytime, literally, it could be live at any time. Is the Kobukan Taijutsu Chukyu book available and on Amazon? So if you don't have that, obviously you wouldn't, unless this is you're seeing this later. Definitely go over to Amazon and check it out. Make sure you get a copy. Excellent techniques in there. It builds very strongly on the Shokyu patterns that you learn, and just really, really great stuff. In addition to that, we're going to be having, hopefully by the end of this month, Kobokan Rokushakubo um, Densho coming out as well. So that's going to be huge. It's quite a large system. So there is a lot to practice in there. So I'm very excited about that. And definitely be on the lookout for that. Again, depending, it's April 2025 now. So depending on when you see this video, it could already be live, and you can find that on Amazon. So as of now, it's just sort of full steam ahead to the first ever USA Taikai that's going to be happening in October 2025. That's going to be taking place in the Newark, Delaware, Elkton, Maryland area. It's all sort of very close together. So it's kind of lumped, I guess you might say, in the description. I would kind of give for members, instructors, and students maybe just some thoughts around how to approach Hanbojutsu, because we're going to be doing more Hanbojutsu at that Taikai. And, there's really, it's not held back. Like it's, as much as you want to learn, as hard as you want to train, is as fast as you can progress, right? So like, you really have to have it down, but you're not held back to necessarily a certain time period. So just train hard. And my recommendation would be, in order to learn the Aragata that I'd mentioned, you will need to first make sure that you have your testing for the Shoden Menkyo for Hanbojutsu, and that's done directly through Hambu Dojo. But we have a growing number of instructors that have that certification and can help their students with that. And for those who aren't necessarily near anyone who has that certification, the university has, the Kobukan University has that training as well. So tons of resources. Obviously, we have the book available on Hanbojutsu. So you have a lot of resources in order to actually learn that system. But my recommendation for students and instructors would be definitely do everything you can, if possible, to test for the Hanbojutsu before the US Taikai. Now, if you just are just kind of chill and uh, relax with your training, it's totally fine. Or if you are one of the people that are attending but aren't right now a member of Kobukan, just enjoy the training. Come, everyone's friends, and just enjoy yourself. But if you are a member and instructor, I definitely recommend trying to test beforehand, because I think that the Uragat was just so impactful for me, and it's my hope that it would be for you as well. It kind of checked a lot of the boxes of the training that I'm currently doing. It's just very insightful, and if possible too, there are a few people that had learned the complete set of Aragata at the UK, and I can tell you that we're all practicing it very hard as we speak, pretty much nonstop, so that we have a chance to actually get into the Chuden side at the actual US Taikai. So again, ultimately, it's just as hard as you want to train, as hard as you want to practice. As much as commitment as you put into yourself and into your training, it's kind of like there's so much opportunity to learn, essentially. So that would be my recommendation for students and members. If you're not a member and instructor and you want to find out more about the ins and outs and everything, just reach out to me, reach out to Shibucho if you're in Europe. We have Ian Kyoshi, wonderful guy, Troy Kyoshi in Canada. Again, I'm always happy to talk with people. I talk to people all the time. So just reach out, message, email, whatever, and happy to go over that with you. But anyway, so looking forward to the US Taikai. I will say that registration is currently open now. And because of space, we're trying to keep it at no more than 25 people. I know that's kind of a pretty small number, but I think it also allows Sensei to kind of be more personal and personable with the people that attend. Um, if we reach that number, which I don't think we'll have a problem doing it all. But, when we get to that point, well, essentially we'll have sort of a waiting list that takes place. And at that point, as the person who is hosting it, I'll start saying, hey, what can we do here? Do we, you know, is there any more space, or can we get a bigger spot that we could accommodate? But ultimately, that's kind of where we're at with it. So my recommendation is, and I will make sure that in this video description that there will be a link there to the registration that you can go over. You can find out all the most up to date information. You can register, save your spot right now, and make sure that you're able to get in. Definitely do that as soon as possible, but I'll make sure that that link is there. So that being said, I'm just looking forward to, seeing everyone, seeing a lot of my Kobukan friends, seeing people that, even if not in the Kobukan, just, making some new friends and getting some solid training. So that being said, thanks so much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, put it in the comments below, and I'll talk soon. Thanks.